a roasted pork loin with filled with garlic cloves and dried apricots and dried cranberries with a port wine sauce. And the wine that I chose to pair it with is a Woodbridge Merlot from Woodbridge Winery by Robert Mondavi, California, 2013. This is a classic holiday dish in my family. We make it for either Thanksgiving or Christmas. And I chose principle one of the analytical approach. For me, since I'm still fairly new to the food and wine pairing and understanding it, I think analyzing the components both in the wine and a dish, reading the recipe, really helps you deduce whether it's going to be a successful pairing. And on this occasion, it turned out to be so. This Merlot is more on the acidic side, a heavy body, especially high alcohol level. But it's got black cherry, blackberries, and ripe plum flavors, which do give it a little bit of a smooth, sweet finish and balance that out. And it paired really well with the dish because the filling with the apricots and the cranberries, that sweetness really also, and the sweetness from the port wine sauce as well, balances out that acidity. So it was really a successful pairing. As to for how I prepared the dish, I take about a 2-pound pork loin. First, I sauteed some whole garlic cloves in a little bit of olive oil, salt and pepper to taste, until they're golden brown. Once they're golden brown, remove them from the pan and reserve the oil. After that, took a paring knife and cut 1/2 inch from one end to 1/2 inch from the other end of the pork loin, fat side up, and just to make a pocket. After that, season that pocket with salt, pepper, and some rosemary, and fill it with the garlic cloves that I cooked, and with the dried fruits. Once that, close it at 1.5 inch intervals, and then brush the outside with some more of the oil. After that, I preheated the oven 250 degrees Fahrenheit, and cooked it for about 1.5 hours. That's when you first check it, till a thermometer reads 125 to 130 degrees Fahrenheit. After that, brush the pork loin with some of the drippings, and then switch the oven to broil and continue to cook it for 3 to 5 minutes until it gets another golden color. Once the 5 minutes are up, take it off, let it cool down, and then about 15 to 20 minutes, once it's nice and cool, you could either set it on a carving board, or I used a meat slicer. I think you get more even size pieces than cutting it by hand, and serve immediately with the port sauce, which how I made it is in a saucepan. Put the port wine, chicken broth, and some olive oil. Bring those to a simmer, and then once those simmer, I mix the cornstarch in a little bit of cold water. Reduce the heat and add that to the sauce, and then continue simmering until the sauce is a little bit thick. Overall, this is a really classic dish in my family, and over the years, as I've gotten older, I've helped my mom make it, so I'm pretty familiar with it, and pleased to say that it was a really nice pairing. Good wine, acidic, but with this dish, the sweetness in this dish really balanced it out, and it turned out really well. Thank you very much. That's all.